All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. It's March 27th, 2026. It's hard to believe that we're a quarter of the way through the year already. All right. Please note this event is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and photo to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I took over and started facilitating the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. We've been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I started a website, careerdfw.org, a website to help those unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched careerusa.org to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon, or if you see me in person, I have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team, the PIC crew, and you'll hear more about them in just a few minutes. Our agenda this morning, we'll start out with success stories. We'll then do the 30-second introductions for everybody here in the room, and then we'll go to 30-second introductions for everybody online. We'll share some job leads if we have, I see Tracy's with us, so we'll share some job leads. Then the committee reports, we'll hear from the interview success workshop, the practice interview team, and the career tip of the week, and then our main event around the top of the hour. Well, we like to start the meeting off with good news. We have good news to share because there's donuts here in the room for everybody who's there. So come on down and tell us your good news. Yep, flip the switch up.
Good morning. Okay, there we go. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alkeisha Rodriguez, and I have landed. Yay! I will be a senior specialist project engineer for L3 Harris in Waco. They will be moving me down to Waco, and I start April 6th. I got this role through a lot of prayer, a lot of work, a lot of support, and a career fair, an internal referral, and as Judy would say, networking. The internal referral was the spouse of one of my friends, and he told me about the career fairs, and I drove all the way out to Rockwall for it. Apparently, they liked what I had to offer, and they had me interview with people at this career fair. Then they had an online interview with about 7 people. And they had me physically go down to
I don't hear the sound. What's going on? Come on.
Can you hear me?
No, we can hear you. You're on. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you're good. So I drove down to Waco, did a walk with the team, met people in person. And then a week later, I got a verbal offer. With the assistance of D. Robinson, I got that offer improved, and then I accepted. And then now the fun part about logistics, trying to figure out how to get down there, where to live, and all that wonderful stuff. I'll be working with avionics, basically communications for an airplane on a special project, which starts April 1st, April Fool's Day, ha ha ha. But I start April 6th. I'm very grateful. I'm thankful to Jeff. I'm thankful to Walt, Dee, if she was here, and the team here, the regulars, and I'm going to call them regulars because I've been here a few years, the regulars. And it's been a journey and it's been a season, but I think my time has come. It's not time for me to pass the baton on to other folks. Whoever wants to take up the mantle, please do. Accountability groups work, prayer works, support works, and just keep showing up, bringing your authentic self and just being ready for the opportunity to present itself. Because sometimes you don't know when your next landing will be. And I took a chance and drove all the way out to Rockwall for this. So Alkeisha Rodriguez, and I have landed.
How far from when you first found out about the job or job fair and now?
So It was an evolution story. About a year ago, there was a career fair in Plano, which is where they have another location. And I went there. They weren't looking for someone with my skill set, but they told me to look up this other individual. About a year after that, so I'd say I guess 2 years ago, a year after that, there was another career fair again in Plano. The person was there, but I never got a chance to speak to her. Then Rockwall was in January of this year. So the last time I met with them was, I guess, November of 2025, then January of 2026, and then I'm being brought on board April 2026. So I want to say about a year.
Okay.
But
How many interviews was it?
for this role,
Yeah.
so the career fair one, which was three people, three separate tables with about four people. And then the online one, which was about 7 people, so that's number two. Then a face-to-face site walk with about another 4 people, that was three. And then they gave me an offer.
Okay. Very good. So what one thing would you advise to everybody?
Be willing to drive out to Rockwall. I did take a chance to drive out to Rockwall because at the previous career fairs, it was physically in Plano, but they kept saying, oh, we have these openings in Greenville and we have these openings in Rockwall. And then I guess they saw my face. They're like, yeah, I'm not trying to go all the way out there. But then I realized, okay, you may not have to go out there. You might go out there for this role, but then it gives you other opportunities to bring yourself closer to home. So I had to change my mindset. So be willing to be flexible in your expectations because sometimes you have to go laterally in order to go forward. It's a diagonal trajectory. So not necessarily straightforward. That's life. But just when you job search, keep that in mind as well. It's sometimes a little meandering, long and winding road, so to speak. So just be prepared and be open to that type of opportunity because again, it may not be explicitly what you want, but there's a way to get there.
Great.
And it might be through Walkwall or Waco.
Okay, well,
Or both.
thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you for bringing.
Those online, shout out to y'all. Again, I've been where you are, so yay. Plenty of donuts here if y'all want to stop by later on because I'm hoping more people come because I'm not taking them home.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. You just sit right there. Yeah. Walt's taking some of the donuts home. I'm gonna take a couple. That's good. Great. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Do we have any other landings to announce? Nobody else? All right. For everybody who's on chat right now, and some of you have already done it, thank you very much. Go ahead and open up the chat window. Give us your name, the position you're looking for. Give us 2 or 3 target companies. Give us your email address, your LinkedIn address, your phone, and your city if you'd like to put that in there. And then if you have companies that you have connections at, please list those because maybe you can help somebody else who's on the call. I will get this chat out to everybody tomorrow afternoon. So everybody will be able to get it. So if you will, go ahead and put your information in. We'll put 30 seconds on the clock. I think I just realized that for the last several weeks, everybody here in the room has heard that, but people online have not heard that because I didn't have my audio settings turned on the computer. So we were entertained. Sorry about everybody online for not hearing that. Okay, if you please go ahead if you've got time. And for everybody who's in the room, we're going to go ahead and do our 30-second introduction. So if you will, come on down, grab the microphone, speak into the camera here, and we will get your 30 seconds in. You got to turn it on.
Here we go. Good morning. I'm Sally Bennix. I'm an IT technical business analyst driving business value by connecting people, processes, and technology. Having accelerated delivery time from 2 days to 30 seconds, I translate business requirements into scalable solutions. Sally Bennix.
Thank you.
Target companies, USAA, Toyota, Blue Cross Blue Shield, North Texas Food Bank. And I have contacts at Wells Fargo, Texas Instruments. Sally Bennix.
Thank you. Nope, keep it on.
Keep it on.
Hi, I'm Polly Dunn, a Senior Administrative Assistant. I specialize in office management, onboarding, and creating workflows that reduce stress and save time. I'm now seeking roles where I can bring strong organization professionalism and help teams operate seamlessly. My name is Polly Dunn, and my target this week has been M Financial Group. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, y'all. My name is Tim Farrell. I'm an electrical design verification engineer. I write computer programs and hardware description languages that verify that circuits are error-free before the big money is committed to put them into silicon. This week I need contacts at Micron, Nokia, and Google. I have contacts at Raytheon, and my name is Tim Farrell.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Oop, yep.
Good morning. My name is David Turner. I'm an HR systems analyst with deep expertise in success factors, security. I make sure the right people and only the right people have access to employee data. I don't need any contacts this week. I can possibly help with contacts at PepsiCo. My name is David Turner.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lindley Schroeder. I'm a sales director. I grow revenue and reduce costs through managing complex projects, leading teams, and analyzing data. I've grown pipelines from 0 to 700% in 1 quarter. And I'm looking for contacts at McKesson and Boeing. I have contacts at Source America, IBM, Globe Life, several other places. Thank you. I'm Lindley Schroeder.
Great. Anybody else? You want to come up? Come on. Come on.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. It's
it
just,
me?
there's a speaker above you. That's
Oh,
why.
okay.
Yeah, you're good.
My name is Eric Nowak. I'm a senior program and project manager. A bit of a utility player, being involved in data and analytics, data engineering, basic reporting, and also in ERP and ERP adjacent. So planning systems, HR systems, etc. I'm not looking for any particular contacts this week. I'll have to think through next time through to get the connected companies that I have contacts with. My name's Eric Nowak.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. Here, I'll take that. And she can sit it right up there on the ledge there. Great. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Let's get to everybody who's online, if you will. Please open up the little bar at the bottom. Raise your hand so I know to call on you. Otherwise, I call on people 2 or 3 times. So Florence, I'll let you go first.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Florence Hogan. I am a strategic market research and competitive intelligence leader. I bring clarity to complexity, complex, fast-changing environments. I deliver actionable insights that support strategic planning, market expansion, and customer experience. Again, my name is Florence Hogan. I am looking for contacts at Gartner. There's a position open there that I'd like to establish some contacts with. Also, I'm looking at National Life Group and USAA for this week. Thank you.
Thank you. V.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Felisa Madden, and I'm gonna have to change my name on there. And I am looking for positions like Director of Internal Audit, SOX Director, Director of Business Process Improvement. I help companies understand and comply with applicable policies, laws, and regulations. I need contacts at Vistra Corp, Raytheon. I have a whole list that I put in the chat, and I have contacts in as stated in the chat too. Again, my name is Felisa Madden.
Thank you. William.
Good morning, everybody. My name is William McLaughlin. I'm currently seeking a business analyst role. Target companies are two of my target companies, I should say, are Cinemark and Dave and Buster's. And once again, my name is William McLaughlin. Thank you very much, and happy baseball season. Oh, it was yesterday.
Thank you. All right, Chris.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Holmes, and I am a senior IT leader who maximizes multi-million-dollar technology investments by connecting business strategy to actionable roadmaps. I am seeking a senior manager or director level role in IT portfolio management or delivery management. I'm looking for contacts this week at DPR Construction, DR Horton, and Charles Schwab. If you need a contact at Southwest Airlines, I may be able to help you. And I am Chris Holmes.
Chris, thank you very much. Tracy.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Harris. I'm a senior search consultant at Thomas Edwards Group. We are a boutique firm that focuses on recruiting for accounting, finance, HR, and we do have a few IT roles as well. We're local to the Metroplex. We do direct hire, contract to hire positions. My name is Tracy Harris.
Thank you. Cindy.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cindy Greenberg. I am seeking leadership roles that are focused on strategy and technology in the healthcare industry. In the past, I've been a solutions and strategy manager, and so I'm looking at similar roles. I need contacts at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas, USAA, Healthcare Service Corporation, which is the parent company for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. I have contacts at former employers, NASCO, National Government Services, and acquired and spin-off companies from EDS and HP, such as DXC, Perspecta, and Peraton. Again, my name is Cindy Greenberg, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Thanks.
Thank you, Cindy. Brian.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian McGovern, and I'm looking for a HR coordinator or benefits coordinator position. I'm looking for contacts at either UT Southwestern, Primoris Services Corporation, Welltower, or Insperity. I have connections at Mr. Cooper, Korn Ferry, and Hilton. And once more, my name is Brian McGovern. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, from the home of baseball, Cincinnati, Ohio. Hello, Sheldon.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Sheldon Weinstein. I help food and beverage brands earn their place on grocery store shelves and win with shoppers at retail. I've worked closely with national retailers like Walmart, Kroger, and Target, helping teams connect strategy to execution and drive growth. And my background spans global companies, including Nestle, Starbucks, Campbell Soup, as well as private equity and family-owned companies. And I'm looking for opportunities with growth-oriented mid-sized food companies in that $200 million to $2 billion range. Again, I'm Sheldon Weinstein, and a couple of target companies would be Milo Tea, Lavazza Coffee, Amy Lou Foods, or Kevin Natural Foods. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheldon. Melanie.
Good morning. I'm Melanie Williams, and I'm looking for a director, associate director, or senior manager role in market research or consumer insights. We're the people who do the online surveys and focus groups, collecting voice of customer feedback. And my target markets are Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio market, Columbus, Ohio market, and Chicago market, also remote. And I have connections at Kroger because I know that's they have a good division in Texas, Dallas, Texas. And just offering up for people who connect with me on LinkedIn, offering up my connection. So if anybody sees a first connection that I have, I'm happy to make an introduction. Again, my name is Melanie Williams.
Thank you. Doris.
Yes, I'm Doris Davis, a senior omnichannel merchandising and marketing leader. I focus on building customers for life. I bring merchandising, marketing, and data together to simplify complexity and speed up execution. My target companies are Pepsi, Keurig, Dr. Pepper, CPG, any retail. Kroger would be interesting. Southwest Airlines could also be interesting. HEB, certainly interesting. I have contacts at Walmart, where I spent the last 13 years prior to moving to DFW, just last July. Again, my name is Doris Davis.
Thank you very much. Kurt, you want to go? I know you said you couldn't find how to raise your hand. Well, don't see on there. All right, Rosina.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday.
Sorry.
Alkeisha, congratulations, girl. It is your time. So congratulations. Um, all right, so my name is Rosina Gallman, and I'm your career tip of the East Coast. I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm looking for a position as a senior talent acquisition business partner or senior recruiter position. And then alternate titles would also be an HR generalist or HR specialist. I need contacts this week at Access, AXXESS, T-Mobile, and then TIAA Frisco. And then I have contacts at a variety of different companies. So as we connect, let me know who you need introductions to. And again, my name is Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Business Partner or Senior Recruiter, HR Generalist, or HR Specialist. Thanks so much.
Great, thank you. Kurt, you want to try one more time?
Let's see if I got it. Am I there?
Yep, I hear you.
Oh, okay. Great stuff. I'm Kurt Schaffenberg. I was a senior systems developer and analyst for many years. I've been retired since about 2021, and I'm getting back in the game, and I'm trying to figure out who I am. So as a longtime visitor to this meeting, I know how it goes. I don't have any contacts or any plan yet, but I'm just trying to figure out how I can get back into the workforce and work part-time at this point in time. I'm hoping really strongly to not be a programmer and analyst and developer and all that kind of stuff anymore. I have no use for it. I know all the modern languages, but I'm evidently way not Indian enough to work in that field anymore. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I've been doing rideshare driving recently, which has taught me probably 20 times more than networking meetings did what people do inside companies. It's amazing what you can learn driving to and from DFW Airport with people that are coming in and leaving this place. I learned a ton back in 2019 doing that kind of stuff and had a lot of fun doing it. So looking to do something interesting. That's me, Kurt Schaffenberg.
Great, thank you. Anybody else online? Going once, going twice. Whoops, went too fast. Tracy, so tell us what's going on in Thomas Edwards.
Yeah. So I'm really seeing things pick up very much heavily on the contract side. I will say, if you aren't open to something like that, maybe you try it out, right? Could get you a new industry, could get you new software, could have you meet more people, right? You just don't know. A lot are heavily focused in accounting and finance, obviously. We do have a contract role for an HR project manager. HR experience is required, integration experience is required. Canadian processes are important as they are global. And they use Workday and Smartsheets. Another role that we're working on is donor administrator for one of the nonprofits that we're working with. It is potentially contract to hire, hybrid role. It's a lot of data entry. Could be an easy role, easy way to get money coming in. And then the rest are kind of more focused, staff accountant, financial analysts, those types of roles. And I think we've got a couple in tax.
All right, Tracy, thank you very much. Her contact information is in chat. If anybody's interested, you'll get the chat copy of that tomorrow if you don't have it already. All right, time to hear from Walt Glass in the Interview Success Workshop.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Walt Glass. So I have a question for you. Out of all the things we do in job search, which is the most critical? You might know what it is based on what I do. But you know, if you look at it, everything we do, our resume, our LinkedIn, our networking, all of that work leads to one thing. It leads to the interview, supports that. And so what happens when we get into the interview? Are we going to waste all that preparation and time and not be able to effectively sell ourselves in an interview? And so that's what I do. I help people gain confidence and skills in selling themselves in an interview. And I base it on 3 stool legs: who we are, what we do, and how we help. So when I was looking for a job 25 years ago, I was asked one question. I'd been working 25 years, first interview, and he said, "Walter, what can you do for me?" I had no clue. And I learned, I said, I better learn how to operate from the other side of the desk because I had hired a lot of people. So I looked at it, and bottom line is I developed the Interview Success Workshop. It is a free workshop to help us learn really how to sell ourselves. So it's very fundamental. If we don't know how to sell ourselves, so it's like a selling 101 class with how you sell, I do, I help. And it's very informal. I do it online. Look me up on LinkedIn. My About section gives you details about the workshop and how to register. I do have a wait list, but it's pretty short right now. But I do have a wait list. I do it on Tuesdays from 9 to 11 Central Time on Zoom. So I'd be glad to have you participate. That QR code will start an email to send to me to my Yahoo email address, which is also listed on my banner page on LinkedIn. So I'd be glad to have you sign up and participate. Well, oh, mercy. Do we fear the cold sweat interview? Do we fear regret and disappointment? Well, it's actually practicing that's the best bet so that we all can get the best job we can get. Not a good poem today, huh? But anyway, the whole idea is, let me tell you something. This is about me personally. What do I get to do today? Well, I get to help people. I get to meet and talk and greet with people. I get to eat lunch with people, and I love helping people. What better day can I have today? Love all of you. Walt Glass.
Thank you very much. All right, the practice interview team. This is a great way to practice your interviewing skills. If you've got an interview scheduled, well, even before you, don't wait until you have an interview scheduled. Schedule now, practice early, practice often is the motto they have like to say. They meet right here in this room on the first, second, third, and fifth Wednesday of the month. On the fourth Wednesday of the month, like this past week, they meet online only. If you're interested in signing up for an interview, just send your resume to dallaspickcrew@gmail.com and they will get you signed up. And just coming and watching somebody else being interviewed, you will learn as much as you are being interviewed yourself because you'll hear something and say, oh, that was just great. I got to make sure I say that in the future, or I better never say that because that's not the right thing to say. So, and the best part about this is after you're interviewed, you'll get about 20 minutes of feedback. You never get feedback when you go for an actual interview. So these the people who interview you will give you feedback, and they practice and they research the position you're looking for. So they'll ask you pertinent questions. So practice interview every Wednesday, 1 o'clock, right here at Christ United Methodist Church. All right, time to hear for the career tip of the week. Good morning, Rosina.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. All right, this week's career tip of the week is the last section of a guide that we've been talking about or working through. And the guide is produced by the interview guys, and it is how would you explain what you do to someone outside your industry? That's the guide. And this is the last sections of that guide. So this week's career tip of the week is what hiring managers are actually listening for. So understanding the interviewer's perspective helps you prioritize what matters most in your answer. They're assessing whether you can work effectively with people who don't share your expertise. And in most roles, success requires collaboration across functions. An engineer who can't explain technical constraints to a product manager creates friction. A financial analyst who can't communicate findings to executives becomes a bottleneck. They're evaluating your customer or client potential. Even if you're not in a client-facing role, most jobs eventually require some external communication. Can you explain value to customers? Can you represent the company professionally? This question gives them some insight. And they're also looking or they're checking for arrogance or humility. Candidates who make their listener feel stupid, but using unnecessarily jargon or condescending language reveal character issues. The best answers make complex work accessible without making the questioner feel inadequate. And they're also watching how you think on your feet. Most candidates don't prepare for this specific question. So authentic responses reveal problem-solving abilities. How do you approach an unexpected challenge? Do you panic or adapt? The next section is beyond the interview, why this skill matters for your career. So the ability to explain complex work simply is one of the most valuable skills you can develop, regardless of your field. It opens doors to leadership, client-facing opportunities, and cross-functional projects that accelerate your career growth. Leaders spend more time explaining and persuading than executing technical work. And as you advance, your ability to create understanding becomes more valuable than your technical expertise. This question tests whether you're ready for that transition. Client relationships depend on trust, and trust requires understanding. Clients who don't understand what you're doing can't fully appreciate its value. When you can explain your work clearly, you command premium rates and build stronger partnerships. Cross-functional projects offer the best learning and visibility opportunities, but they require constant translation between different knowledge bases. Teams uh, Teams choose collaborators who make their lives easier, not harder. So being known as someone who can bridge communication gaps gets you invited to the most interesting work. And then the last section is bringing it all together. When that interviewer asks you, how would you explain what you do to someone outside your industry? They're not testing your vocabulary. They're evaluating whether you can create understanding, build bridges, and collaborate effectively in a complex cross-functional workplace. Your answer should demonstrate that you understand your work deeply enough to explain it simply, that you care enough to make it interesting, and you're skilled enough to adapt your communication to your audience. The formula is straightforward. Start with a problem you solved, explain your approach using accessible language and relatable comparisons, and then close with a tangible impact when possible. Avoid jargon, focus more on outcomes and connect to your experiences that your listener already understands. Practice with non-experts, record yourself, and refine until your explanation flows naturally. The investment pays dividends, not just in interviews, but throughout your career. And for more insights on mastering communication-focused interview questions, check out the guides that are produced again by the interview guys. There are guides on common job interview questions, behavioral interview techniques, and how to tailor your elevator speech. And the next time you hear this question in an interview, you'll be ready. not a memorized script, but a framework and practice that lets you showcase both your expertise and your communication skills authentically. And then to help you prepare, they've created a resource with proven answers to the top questions interviewers ask. And so there is an job interview questions and answers cheat sheet. It's a downloadable version. And so if you click on it, it'll ask you for, I think, your email address, and then it'll email you word for word answers to the top 25 interview questions of 2026. And they've put together that, like I said, a free cheat sheet that answers specifically designed to work in 2026. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this article or the last part of it, but overall, the full guide is how would you explain what you do to someone outside your industry? This has been a very great guide, and I highly recommend you go back and read it from the very beginning. All right, everybody, have a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic Friday. And Alkeisha, congratulations on your landing. It's so well deserved. Have a great one, everybody.
Rosina, thank you very, very much. All right, today for lunch, we're going to go to Country Burger, 3115 West Parker Road in Plano, Texas. It's on the northwest corner at Parker and Independence. Burger, salad, and more. So come join us at 11:45. We'll be at Country Burger. All right, if you want to receive today's materials, you'll get a copy of the speaker's presentation, a link to the YouTube video that gets posted, a copy of the career tip of the week that Rosina just read. You'll get a copy of the Zoom chat. To make sure you get that, for everybody who's here in person, make sure that you've checked your name off on the roster or fill out the little slip of paper. And if it's legible, I will get you added to the roster. For everybody who's online, please make sure your email address is somewhere in the chat. So as long as it's in the chat, I will get you added to the roster and make sure you get all the information tomorrow. All right, here are the people that I'm still trying to find. They only in the chat gave us a LinkedIn address, and you go to their LinkedIn page and they have no contact information. So these are the people who are sort of looking for a job or not really looking for a job because they're not really trying that hard. So if you're one of these people, please email me so I can, or text me so I can get your name off this list. All right, today we're going to talk about creating a personal pitch deck. Libby's been with us before. Libby, I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us all about you.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for having me. I have major FOMO about the donuts and the burgers, but I'm okay. I will be okay. My name is Libby Magliolo, and I have been to this group before and been with you before. I am a professor at SMU. I teach executive storytelling to MBAs, and I run my own business teaching companies how to build better presentations. So I'm going to talk to you today. Bringing a presentation is an occupational hazard for my line of work. So I'm going to talk to you today about one of my favorite applications for building a small presentation, and that is creating what I call a personal pitch deck. This is one of my very favorite tools for the career search process, and we'll talk more about that. So let me get slides going, and I'll share a couple links with you in the chat. I can share these again at the end, but you'll need these later on. Okay. So let me dive into building a personal pitch deck. Like I said, my name is Libby. This is a picture of me on a day when I look far more showered and put together than I do now. So my apologies. Just picture me like the picture and not like I look now in my very favorite Costco pullover. So what are we talking about? We are talking about putting together a personal pitch deck to set yourself apart from the competition in the career search process. So what actually is that? Personal pitch deck sounds very cool, but what does that actually mean? I'm talking about putting together 2 to 4 slides, PowerPoint, Google Slides, pick your poison, that can detail your relevant work history, relevant project history, and this is something that's going to be a tool for you as well as for your interviewer in later stage interview rounds. Let's talk about why we do this, and hopefully I can convince you that this is a tool worth thinking about. So the usual way is that we have our resume and our cover letter. And if you're like me, it might be a little bit ChatGPT generated these days because, time. But I kind of hate this. I kind of hate the idea of being reduced to my resume and a cover letter. And, it's just a piece of paper. So I am proposing an addition to that stack, which is adding in your personal pitch deck. We still have our resume, we still have our cover letter, kind of the cost of doing business, but we are adding on this ingredient. This is not taking the place of anything. This is an added ingredient to our job search process. So what is it? Like I said, it's a couple of slides that highlight your experience in a different way. This is from a template that I'm going to give you at the end, but this is kind of what it can look like. And we'll walk through each of these and what they mean and what it is. But again, it's a visual companion that we bring along to our later stage round interviews and is something that accompanies our resume and cover letter and brings our experience to life in a different way. Why do I love it? So many reasons why I love it. But the main one is that it makes your preparation for that interview visible and tangible. You can hold this document, you can touch it, you can say, this is what I prepared to walk in this room. And that's the main reason that I love it. Because think about all the things that happen when you prepare for a job interview. You're reading the job description, you're making sure your resume is in good shape, you're making sure that all your clothes are ready to go. I spoke to the Southlake focus group last year and I made a joke about you grab your clothes and you smell them to make sure that you smell okay. And nobody laughed. And I'm going to be honest, it was one of the worst moments of my adult life to date. But so I've decided maybe I can keep that in there, maybe not, but we're among friends here. So just know that when I put this up, I'm reliving one of the worst moments of my life. It was okay. We all survived. I think everyone else is just better smelling or has better smelling clothes than I do. So good for you. My standards really slipped in 2020, and I don't think we'll ever make it back. So you are plotting out how to get there. Maybe you're practicing your interview answers. You're talking to people at the company. The thing is, all of those things happen before you step into the interview room, and your interviewer doesn't see any of them happen. So if your interviewer is looking at two different people, just by looking at them, they can't tell the difference between the person who has been preparing for weeks and the person who remembered 30 minutes before the interview. That preparation is invisible. And if you're like me, you've hugely prepared for some interviews and then you walk out and think, wow, my answers did not do justice at all to all the preparation that I did. So I like having something that shows that I prepared, that I put together something specifically for this interview that I can walk in with. There's something kind of magic about that to interviewers when you show something that you specifically made for that interview and it shows, hey, I prepared something, I printed it off, I found a stapler, I did all the things. There's something a little bit magic about that. And that always made me feel a little bit better of, if nothing else, the interviewer will know that I prepared something for this interview and I have this document that we can walk through. So the old way in interviews, we've all heard a million of these questions that absolutely make us want to gag. Tell me about a time when. What is your greatest weakness? If you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be? And sometimes they get even worse. What animal are you? Or, I don't know, worse from there. I'm sure all of you have heard worse questions than these. But these questions, we often don't know what's coming next, and the interviewer is fully deciding how that interview is going to go. So the goal is that when we put something together, we're shifting the conversation and shifting the focus of the conversation a little bit to that material that we've put together. And so our interviewer is looking at it and saying, oh, very cool. I didn't realize that you had worked on this. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Or, wow, this is amazing. Can you give me a little bit more background about how you did this? So you're shifting the conversation to something that you're fully prepared to talk about because it's your expertise and it's something that you have prepared. So this is the goal, that we're shifting the conversation away from generic interview questions to things that you are an expert on because it's your background. Also, it helps you structure your interview prep process. When I have been in the career search process, I get to a point where I'm so sick of looking at my resume and so sick of looking at job descriptions and the same questions and everything that my mind kind of goes into autopilot mode. So this is something that helps you structure your thoughts as you put together your story, kind of breaks you out of that rut of just rehearsing the same answers over and over again. So let's say that I've convinced you, I've gotten you bought into this idea that, okay, this is a valuable tool or can be a valuable tool. What do I actually put into this deck? What do I actually put into these couple of slides? So here's what I like. There's not a right or wrong answer, but here is what I propose that you include. Resume highlights. Yes, they absolutely have their resume. We've all heard the horrifying statistics about how many seconds recruiters actually spend looking at resumes. What are the things that you genuinely don't want missed? What are the themes that come out? Maybe in your resume, it's not totally clear that cost savings has been a common theme that has come out in every single role, and you kind of have a nose for cost savings, and you always find a way to do that. This is a great thing to highlight here. Project overviews. What work have you done in the past that is relevant to the job that you are applying for? Again, a really big project at a past role might get one bullet point on your resume, whereas you can blow it out into an entire slide on your personal pitch deck, and that tells a better story of start to finish the impact that you made. Lastly, plans for this role. How do you plan to be successful in this role? What are your thoughts on how you're going to add value to the role and to the company from day one? Again, we're never going to put together a plan that we follow to the letter because life changes once we start a new role. But what we're signaling is, I have thought about how to be successful in this new role before I even start. So let's dig into what these can actually look like. Let's go one layer deeper. This is an example of what your kind of about me resume highlight slide can look like. Now, I will unapologetically put my graduate professor hat on for just a second. What you will notice here is that this is a highly visual slide without many words on it. The number one complaint by audiences everywhere about slides is, oh my gosh, there are too many words on them. And then somebody reads all those words to me. We are trying to create something that looks different than our resume by design. Highly visual slides should be glanceable or scannable, not a document that we read. Our resume is a document that we read. We are creating something different. This is something that we can scan in a few seconds and then move on. So a high-level introduction slide brings your experience to light in a different way. Also allows you to highlight themes that may not jump out from your resume. Like I said, if there's been a common thread through all of your roles, then highlight that. Maybe you started the parents' employee resource group at every company that you've been at. That's a great thing to pull out. That's a great common theme that may not jump out at an interviewer. We have a 30, 60, 90-day plan. Like I said, we want to show that we're thinking about how to be successful in this role. A common question that comes up is, I don't know a ton about the role. I don't know a ton about what I would actually do. What I would suggest is you build a plan based on how you have been successful in past roles. Maybe you built an incredible knowledge base. Maybe you sat down with every single member of the sales team, or you went on 20 sales calls or whatever. Tell that story of how you've been successful in the past, because that gives a great roadmap of how you will be successful in the future. So like I said, it shows that you've thought about how to be successful and how you will add value in your new role. And then lastly, a project highlight. So like I said, in your resume, this is maybe one bullet, but you get to tell the whole story of, here was the situation, here was the actions that I took, here was the result of it. So very much following our STAR format for interview questions, but you get to show the picture of an impact that you had. And again, we're presenting that information in a different way, as well as highlighting a track record of success in your background, especially as it's relevant to the role that you're interviewing for. So I'll give you a couple examples. I'll show you Stephanie's, then I'll show you mine. Spoiler alert, Stephanie's is much better than mine, but you know, that's a giant point of embarrassment, even more than the smelly clothes thing. Okay, so Stephanie, I want to show you her personal pitch deck. Now, Stephanie was a career switcher. She was switching to from the nonprofit world into a more corporate finance type role. And so she wanted to make sure that she told a story, that she had the skills required for that new role, even though she hadn't done exactly that job. So this is Stephanie's front page. This is her resume highlight slide. So you'll see again, it's highly, highly visual. You can look at this very quickly. But what it also does is it does a nice job of building authority. You'll see there that she's being interviewed on the news. You'll see that she wrote an op-ed for the Dallas Morning News. So highly visual, but tells you about her and helps to build authority right there on that first page. So I think this is a great example. She had her 30, 60, 90-day plan. Again, she didn't know the specifics, but she plotted it out and she gave her best estimation of what was going to come in that role and how she would be successful. She also gave a project highlight. Now, this was a documentary that she oversaw the submission process of, and again, highly visual. This is very eye-catching, and she led us through the problem, the actions that she took, the solutions, and the results. Told a really nice story. So this to me is compelling and eye-grabbing and all of those things, and it tells a story in a different way than just a resume can. So ideally, a recruiter would flip to this and say, oh, cool, tell me more about this. And then all of a sudden, the ball is in your court and you are the one who is in control of telling your story. She did one slide on how she spends her free time. I know this is a hotly debated point in the career search process. I think it's okay as long as it's not too controversial and it's something that could be a good talking point. I once had an MBA student said that she was the world's greatest fan of the TV show Sex and the City. And I said, that is not something that we put on our resume. So you being into like trail running, yes. Sex and the City, no. So use your best judgment. It could be a point of conversation, but let's keep the HBO less family friendly shows out of it. Here is my example. Now, just this, I built this a long time ago, so don't judge me. Please have grace and love in your heart for what I'm about to show you. This is much more corporate, but I did want to show you a different example. So again, it's an eye chart. I'm sorry. Do as I say, not as I do. So I was applying for a job. I spent a long time at Southwest Airlines and I was applying for a job that was a very, very different type of role. And so again, I wanted to show I have the core competencies for this, even though I haven't done this exact type of work. So what I did was I took the job description and the things that the job description said it was looking for, strategic planning, executive communication, all those things. And then I pulled out those points that were relevant to me and put them in that table. If I did this again, I would decrease the word count by at least 60% or so, but clear title, clear subtitle, and a bit more visual. Doris, thank you. You and I should grab lunch and you can just say nice things about me because I need more of that in my life. I'll buy, don't worry about it. Then my proposed 30, 60, 90-day plan. Again, this is way too much text and I completely own that, but I wanted to show the story thematically of here's what I would do because here's what I've done in past roles that has helped make me successful. And here is kind of exactly how I will enter this new role. I had a bit more visibility because I knew the company and knew the team and all that. So I could be a little bit more precise on that. Yes, Chris, you recognize the colors and the format and all that. Sheldon, it's a really good question, and I promise you that I will answer that. And then I put any additional areas and focus things that I wanted to just make sure that were called out in the process. Again, a little bit more thematic. I didn't have big themes in my resume. I just had job history. So this pulls out those themes in a slightly different way. So Sheldon, you set me up perfectly. Which interview round do I actually do this for? Because yes, this is some additional work. I am a fan of using this for second round or final round. In initial round or even some early rounds, you may just be talking to HR, a recruiter who's screening just to make sure that you have the basic capabilities and all of that. So I'm a fan of this for the later stage interviews when you're actually digging more into your background. So second or final round, and ideally you'll make a deck, a couple of slides that is a good base for you, and then you can customize a bit based on the exact role and company that you are interviewing for. So let's say we love the idea and we've built our deck and it highlights our background and all of that. How do we actually get it to the recruiter? Here is what I like to do. I like to send it to the recruiting team the day before my interview, say, hey, so excited about my interview tomorrow. You can even say, I just wanted to confirm the time, place, whatever it is. I'm sending along some slides that I created in preparation for our time tomorrow. It highlights my experience, etc. Now, what I have seen happen almost every time is that the recruiting coordinator will send this on to your interviewer along with your resume, and many times they will actually just print it out and it will be there if you are in person. And so that is how I like to do this, because when you send it along, you get credit for it regardless of whether you actually talk about it in your interview or not. They see this preparation document that you put together. It's a great question about whether you can put it on your LinkedIn profile. I don't see why not. It's a nice thing to be able to highlight, and if you have put it together and it's not incredibly company specific, then I think it's a great idea. So during the interview, so we're so excited about our personal pitch deck. We've sent it along. We are excited about it. And oh my gosh, we really want to talk about it. But our goal is to be seen as prepared, but not pushy. You hopefully direct the conversation to your personal pitch deck, which you will also bring printed copies of if you're in person. If you're virtual, you can mention it. So if they say, hey, do you have any experience with XYZ? You say, absolutely. I brought a little bit more information about that and would love to talk you through that if that's all right. And you bring it up once and only once. So if they keep saying, hey, well, what about this? You don't say, well, if you would look at the deck that I sent you, all your questions would be answered. So bring it up once and only once. Again, you can leave this deck behind. They already have a digital copy. If they take the bait, great, and you can dig through it. If they flip through it themselves and ask you questions, wonderful. If they say, appreciate that, but we'll get to that later, take the hint and know that they still have it and they still will flip through it and take a look at it. So again, the old way, we're subjected to whatever behavioral questions come up. And hopefully with our pitch deck, we're shifting those questions to be more about our expertise, our work that we have actually done in the past. Hopefully you've seen the benefit and can imagine the benefit of doing this. I like that it is a highly visual component. Folks who may have a background in more creative fields, graphic design, advertising, you all have a nice, easy way to show your visual work in the past. I've been in corporate roles my whole life, and I don't have anything pretty to show for my work. And so this is a way to bring your work to life in a visual way, even for work that doesn't necessarily lend itself to visuals. It's highly visual. It's unique. This is something that tends to be a bit of a standout. And like I said, it makes your preparation visible as well as helps you to prepare. Ideally, it helps you control the interview a bit more as well by shifting the conversation to subjects that you know well. And you can talk about your background a little bit more. So look at this as one more tool in your tool belt. If this is something that you think is very cool and you want to give it a try, do it. Absolutely. If you would rather get teeth pulled than go into PowerPoint, I understand the feeling, or think, you know what, I don't think this is a good fit. Totally fine. Look at this as just one possible tool in your tool belt. It could be that you interview for a role where they do actually ask you to put together your sales territory plan or your 30, 60, 90 day plan or whatever it is. So just know that this may come up anyway, but look at this as one more tool in your tool belt, not something that you have to do, but you can do. I'd love to share with you the template that I posted some pictures of. You'll get it at that link that says PayHip. Please make sure you use the code FOCUS. It'll give you that template for free. Absolutely feel free to use that template if it feels like a good fit for you and you like it. Otherwise, there's a million great free PowerPoint templates out there. Canva, Slides Go, Slides Carnival, PowerPoint, Microsoft Online, the website has lots of great templates. So use something that looks professional, polished, professionally designed, and please, please, please don't overload it with too many words, because if you do, I will know. I have a spidey sense for this. I will know, and I will drive to your house, and we'll do it together. So don't put too many words on your pages. Remember that this is a visual companion to your resume. This is supposed to be highly visual and bring your experience to life in a different way. That is what I have for you. I put my LinkedIn up there. Please get in touch with any questions that you have for me. I am a big believer, as I think all of you are, that we have been and will be in the career search process at some point, and it is our duty and our responsibility to help any others when we're not actively in that process as much as we can. So Jeff is already completely on it. I'd be very happy to answer any questions from online or from in the room if there are any questions.
There you go.
Good morning, Libby. Question for you about, there's the camera.
Hello.
Hi. I'm blown away by this, so I'm going to do one this weekend. Compare and contrast the a marketing plan or a professional bio to the pitch deck, and when and where to use each.
Yes. So tell me more when you say marketing plan.
I don't know. It's my outplacement firm calls it a marketing plan, and
Okay.
it's a one pager. It's got the career summary and skills.
Got it. Yes, I view this as a different entity because the things that you just mentioned are almost certainly documents, and we're trying to put together something that does not look like a document. So the content may be similar. It absolutely will draw on the same source material and have some of the same commonalities. What we're doing in this is we're trying to be highly visual, but we're also trying to curate information. We cannot and should not recreate everything that is in our resume, one page, or anything. They have our resume, they have our one pager, they have all of that. What we're trying to do is use this personal pitch deck to highlight some specific themes or stories from our background. So I view this as an accompaniment to it, and it should look different, and it is different. And if you panic and think, well, it doesn't have everything that my resume does, that's okay, because they have your resume, they already do. This is something different, and it looks different, and it is different because it has a different job than your resume does.
Yes, Tim Farrell, I have a question, if I may. Yes, so in my opinion, or the way I see it is that the best use of this pitch deck would be for online applications when extra documents are enabled, like on their website. Is my thinking on that correct or wrong?
No, I think you're totally right. If they allow for extra documents, this is the perfect use of that. I like using it in the live interview as well. So you send it beforehand, and then if you're there in person, you have it sitting right there on the table. And then if you are in a virtual interview, then it's a little bit more delicate, but you can say, I sent along something yesterday. I'd be happy to share my screen and talk through that. a little bit. But yes, upload it beforehand. Again, it's doing the same thing as sending it to the recruiter. They have it and they have it during your interview process. But I like it during the live interview as well, because when you prepare something, I don't know, it's kind of human nature that people just start flipping through what's in front of them, and hopefully they ask questions and it sparks conversation. So it's a both and.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else here in the room? Question. Anybody online? Question. Please unmute your mic and ask away.
Yeah, and Sheldon, I'll throw in a comment there. Libby, I really appreciate you sharing this, and I think this was just a great example of one more tool in the tool bag for us to be able to use to, as I always say, keep us top of mind after we've left the room. So thank you.
Agreed. Absolutely. Any differentiator is helpful. Yeah, Chris.
Hi, Libby. I actually do have a personal question for you, which I'll get to in a second. But again, I want to echo what was just said. I really appreciate the example that you've got here. And I have a strong appreciation for what you said about um, kind of moving away from text dense slides.
Yeah.
I had a reputation among my team at Southwest Airlines for being a deck Nazi, their words, not mine. And I know the Southwest style was to cram a lot of information into those decks. So
It was.
there's something to be said about leaving something on or leaving things off the page and
Yes.
speaking to those things. But actually, so one question about your deck, I might have missed it. Is there some kind of like an ideal size of the deck? I mean, you can kind of overload it pretty easily, I think. So, um, do you have some idea about just how lengthy those should be?
Yes, I say a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 4 slides. Any longer than that, and we're probably getting into the territory of we're just recreating our resume and we're just dumping information on there. So 4 is a hard maximum unless your interviewer has specifically asked for your 8 to 10 page territory plan or
Okay.
whatever it is. But it's short by design because it forces you to curate and pick the most important things from your resume to illustrate. So short and cut text until it absolutely hurts.
Okay. And then the personal question was, uh, you said you're at SMU, I have to ask, are any relation to Jody Magliolo?
Some relation to Jody Magliolo. Do you know my dad?
Uh, I took a financial analysis class from him when I did my MBA at SMU 20 years ago.
Yes. Well, yes, that was him. And I ran as far from accounting as humanly possible. So I get to talk for a living, which is something I'm very, very well positioned to do. But yes, that's my dad.
Yeah, well, it was a hard class, but it actually was one of my I would say top 3 or 4 classes at SMU.
Oh,
So
well, lovely. I'll tell him you said so. I appreciate that.
Hi, Libby, this is Walt. Thank you for being with us today and sharing all this. I make presentations and I struggle between two purposes. One is when I was in ROTC, and when I'm talking about 1963 now, we did presentations and things we call training aids came up and how do you handle training aids. And the lesson was that when you put something up for people to read, they're not going to listen to us. They'll be reading and not listening. And so I want to, do the cross between I want to talk and also want them to be able to read. And so in my presentations, I say, well, I make them more to say, hey, this is a handout for you to use because it has more details in it. But then you stick it up on the screen, and if you want to read it all to them, it's not as effective as doing that. So the same idea comes up with this. So if I give you a handout, a training aid, in a sense, you're going to be reading that and not listening to me. So how do you try to accomplish both? And at the same time, how long does it take you to go through that document? Because we know that if we talk too long, we want to start with brevity. And I love your emphasis on brevity, few words. Throw your long words into AI, say reduce this to 27 words and see what it comes out with to help you do that. But how do you try to accomplish both of those during that interview?
Yeah, it's a really, really good question because yes, computers can process things in parallel at the same time. Our brains are serial processors. We can process one thing and then the next. We cannot read and then listen at the same time. So ideally, we have created something that is highly visual and the general idea of it can be consumed in 10 seconds or less. I never advocate actually presenting this slide deck. I like the recruiter to kind of lead that conversation. They flip through and say, "Oh, this is interesting. Tell me about this." So you don't start at the beginning, you flip to page 3 where they are, and you talk about that. So that helps us not go too far in depth. Nobody wants to sit through a monologue. And so you kind of pick and choose and you flip to the pages that are relevant given the where the conversation goes. So you have to be a little bit agile, but if they say, "Oh, tell me more about this project," you say, "Okay, absolutely." So on page 2 here, I have a project plan that I followed. If they're reading the slide, it is totally okay just to sit there and be silent for a couple seconds unless they have specifically asked you a question. I think it's good and I think it's important that they're taking some time to ingest that information because it's information presented in a new and different way. And so I think that that is valuable. So I think it's totally okay to take a beat and be silent for a second. And then if they ask a question, "Hey, tell me more about this," then you can dive in and know that they're only going to either read or listen at the same time, but you're presenting information in a new way. So we put together highly visual slides that can be consumed in less than 10 seconds or so. We followed the direction of the recruiter. We flip to the pages that are relevant in the conversation. We don't present it as an entire slide deck, and we know that we can just be silent for a couple seconds because they're going to be reading and their brain is going to be busy doing that. It's a great question.
Yeah, that's the conclusion we came to back in those days. Once you're introduced to training aid, let them absorb that before
Yeah.
you go forward. And so I
Yeah.
like. Now, there's two things I really like about this. Number one, this is a great leave behind. It's
Mm-hmm.
easier to read and see and understand and tells you more than the resume tells you.
Mm-hmm.
And so the resume is, it's really a hard document to go through and put together and analyze and synthesize and all that. But this is a great document to say, "Hey, if you want to remember someone, say, let me put out this little 4 pages or 3 pages, and here's the deal." And when you're talking to other people, so I think that's a great value, whether they look at it or not, or you can use it as a lead behind at the end of the interview. If you didn't get a chance to use it, well, you might be interested in this. I put together this that kind of summarizes some information that may be helpful for you. So I really like it for that purpose as well. And I like it for the preparation purpose of put your thoughts together. So
Mm-hmm.
just do that. And then if you are going to use it, have somebody practice with you so you can turn to the right page and talk about it and do those things because I mean, I help people as a panelist on the pit crew. And so the last one we did, I said, we always talk about asking a question at the end of the first response to find out what they're looking for. So, "Oh, I forgot to do that." So we know what we need to do, but if you don't practice it and do it. So I suggest including practicing your pitch deck and how you would use an interview as well as any other interview. Good
Usually
job, Andy.
Usually.
We talk about brevity and keeping it simple on these documents. I remember years ago going to a class and they were talking about billboards. If you ever notice when you drive down the road and you see billboards, you never have more than 7 words on a billboard. Any more than that's too much. So being short, sweet, and simple is a good thing.
Yes, I'm so glad that you brought up the billboard example. So I give the example of a billboard, that's your PowerPoint slide, versus a magazine article, that's your resume. A magazine article is designed to be, you sit down and you consume it, you read it. There might be some visual elements, but a billboard is meant to be consumed very quickly. It's highly visual, limited text, one idea per billboard, and it's designed to be consumed while you're flying down 75 at however many miles an hour. So yes, I love the billboard example. Billboards are glanceable and our slides should be glanceable as well. So I appreciate the example.
Highly recommend Edward Tufte for brevity. He was death by PowerPoint, and his favorite graphic is a baseball It's the start of baseball season, the baseball score on the TV, because it gives you all the information about the game and it's hidden in the background. So it's really subtle to the brain.
I like
Very
that.
effective.
I am not a sports ball fan, but for those sports ball fans out there, and it is sports ball season, that may resonate with you. Chris, thank you. I appreciate the recommendation. Okay, anything else?
Anybody else? Any questions here? Anybody online? Unmute your mic and ask away. Chris put a comment, presentation Zen by Gar Reynolds. So something else to check. All right. Well, Libby, thank you very much for your time. Great presentation. Hopefully you'll send it to me and then I'll email it out to the group. Email it out to the group tomorrow. So if you're wanting more details and be able to look at it, be able to do that. So thank you very much for being with us. Let me share some slides, more slides, and we'll get out of here. Oh, here we got another question. Hold on.
Hi, this is a question from Doris. For whatever reason, her screen is stuck, she said. Let me not do that. What do you teach at SMU?
I teach business presentation techniques to the MBAs and they hate it because it's forced public speaking. So, but I have 7 weeks to win them over by the end, but very biased. I think it's one of the most important courses. Our expertise does not go past us and does not get sold unless we know how to sell it and communicate it properly up the ladder. So business presentation techniques, and I do corporate training as well.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, Libby, thank you very much once again. Next Friday, we'll be doing open forum as we do the first Friday of every month. We'll talk about whatever questions you have, and everybody here can participate and answer any questions you've got. So join us next Friday for that. This presentation will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel. Click on playlist. Every video I post goes into one of 7 different playlists. And then you see in the lower left-hand corner, view full playlist. When you do that, up will come a list in chronological order, the date, the speaker, and the title. In fact, here's a last time you were here, January 17th, 2025, creating a personal pitch deck. So we can compare both videos and see which ones we like. Just remember that any of the North Dallas videos you watch, you need to go about 30 minutes in because I start recording at 9:30 and the speakers don't come on till around 10. Next Tuesday, LinkedIn Tuesday, Kurt Vondermatter will be with us to talk about LinkedIn from a recruiter's eye. Kurt is the founder and CEO of Link Executive Search. He's looking for you. He's trying to find you. So he'll talk about how he does that using LinkedIn. Next Wednesday, the practice interview team will be meeting in person right here at Christ United Methodist Church, corner of Parker and Coit in Plano. Come join us from 1 to 3 o'clock. And then next Friday, as we said before, open forum. We'll talk about whatever it is you want to talk about next Friday. Come join us today at Country Burger, 11:45. We should be there. How many people think you're going to go from here so we know how big a table to get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like 6. I think somebody online told me they were going to be joining us. So 6 or 7 seats. All right. So come join us for today. Thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for joining us today. Libby, once again, thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and we will see everybody next Friday. Was there another question online? Oh, Libby, do you have a favorite deck for building software, PowerPoint or something else, if she's still there? I think Libby got off already. Yep, she's gone.